You put a mic in his face, he's not going to walk away and disrespect the media, like what we're seeing from some of the other ministers who just blowing kiss and love you and walking off and disrespecting Akash, disrespecting the Rispolo, disrespecting. Let me tell you something, a good thing I'm not outside of Parliament, because yeah, I would approach it a bit different, and not because I'm going there to disrespect anybody, but you are holding office and there is a certain requirement, as far as I'm concerned, to address media. You know, let me don't go down this Trump road now. And even Trump, in his blatant disrespect and his particular very brash and out of timing style, will still answer questions and face the media. And when they put a microphone to his mouth, he might disrespect you, but he's still going to say something. Yeah, people just walking off and there's a whole pappy show. Not nice at all. Hey, let's get into that discussion as we treat with the concerns of the prison service. That's right, the president of the association joins me next live on set for a very important conversation. See you soon.
One-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. Big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Semitoma, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Higher purchase, credit card, loan on top of loan. This feeling heavy.
When debt starts to weigh you down, it's time for a fresh start with fresh cash from NCB Merchant Bank. Their unsecured loan can consolidate your debts into one simple payment. No collateral needed.
One payment, one date, less stress?
Exactly. With lowered requirements, you can borrow up to $150,000 to clear your debt. Apply online and get the funds straight to your bank account. No branch visit needed. Fast and efficient. Apply today at ncbloanaccess.com.
Conditions apply.
This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Representing the concerns of the prison officers, their president, Gerard Gordon, joins me on set live. I'm happy to again see you, Gerard, to get into discussion. I know we would have had a little Zoom discussion recently, and obviously based on some of the happenings, you would have promised me then to return to share with us some of the latest. I understand now there are some serious staffing concerns. You outline the fact that people are taking early retirement. Some people are just getting overwhelmed with the job and jumping, they just can't make. And there are no people coming in the system in terms of hiring. I remember there was a hiring process some years ago. I saw a long line from probably where the prisoners to probably Bago and sing on the highway. I said, look at people trying to join prisons, but that was some years ago.
Correct.
So I can't recall anything recently. We really want to get up to speed as to what's happening within the system. Welcome, President.
Yeah, good morning to the viewers, and good morning, Jason.
Yes, indeed. So you would have said that it's almost on the verge of collapse, our prison system, based on the infrastructure, the work environment. I guess I spoke about the judicial system and the snail space it's going at. And from my own experience going in to treat with different activations in the prison, to talk to the prisoners, I saw a different temperament from those who are actually serving time, the men in the blue, and the lifers who are in the white, compared to the men who are in normal civilian clothes.
Correct.
The men in remand, they seem to be very frustrated. They saw a certain venom on their face, frustration etched.
There's a level of uncertainty.
And they make up the majority of the population.
About 3/4 of the prison population.
So in essence, if there was to really clear these cases and who is innocent, set them free, if you put a man
who have to come across to be convicted,
we could solve it then.
We could address a lot of the ills simply by that. Even the infrastructure and the infrastructural design. Before I continue, I want to say a special good morning to all my prison officers, my brothers and sisters who continue to toil against all odds in an environment that is extremely hostile. So good morning, people. The thing about it is that I always like to take these opportunities when they do come, because you realize that there's still a lot of misconception, misinformation out there, and people love to deflect. And I often say, and I think I've said it on this set already, if we were to come this morning, Jason, and they say, well, Jason, the studio not in a state to function. The cameraman, all the cameras can't operate as they should. Somebody had to record the program using an iPhone or a Samsung, and we had to do it out in the car park. It had no air condition. The producers and them, the board in a mess. Would you all be able to really conduct a show? No. But this is what prison officers are being asked to do every day. The maximum security prison currently holding just shy probably of 2,000, let's just say. I wouldn't give the exact figure. And when you look at the amount of staff there, when you look at the amount of feelings, we would have brought in OSHA some time ago, who would have done a rounds of inspections across the length and breadth of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. There is not one prison facility that met the basic standard for not only incarcerated individuals, but more so as a place of work. And we continue to see these things, and we are deemed essential. And so you'll hear people saying, so why they don't protest, or why they don't do this, or why they don't, because we can't. We simply can't. Being an essential service, we cannot withhold our labor in hopes of affecting any sort of positive change to our work environment. And so we continue to operate in that space where we are generally ignored, we are ridiculed for presenting ourselves. All those people who presented themselves for selection, that is all that it takes to change your life forever. We have had officers, Reynald Paris. He didn't even make a year in the job, and he was murdered. And we continue to operate in silos. The justice system continues to operate as if it should not be a unified body working hand in hand to address these issues and ultimately truly serve and protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And so we in this cycle, and I continue to hope that the powers that be, those with that magic pen, those who could say a word, those who could release those resources, that at some point they really pay attention. We are seeing what is happening in our country.
Is it that okay, so Maximum, Carrera, Port of Spain. There's the detention center there in the east. I know there's one for immigrants in Grandi or Valencia.
Well, that don't have anything to do with us.
Oh, so that's a different scenario?
Yes, that's different.
Okay,
The immigration detention center.
Who mans and keeps an eye on
that? Is immigration.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
they treat with those people.
well, thanks for the clarity there, because again, you see, and that's why the discussions are so important. So many might have thought that you're all there, but nonetheless, is it that the prisons, is it that it's overpopulated? What's the best practice? What's the best ratio of prison officer to prisoners?
So we always hear people attempt to trivialize. You know, it would be so easy to say, okay, 1 officer to 5 inmates, 1 officer to 10 inmates, but you cannot do that. Our job is a dynamic one, and it's not solely reliant on the officer. We have something called static security. The walls, the gates, the cells, the barbed wire, all of these things, cameras, alarms, all of these things, how the facility is laid out, the arrangement of the cells, is it linear, is it more in a clamshell arrangement? What does it enable or empower the officer to do? That is what is going to determine how many officers you require. And just to use an example, I would have traveled while I was on vacation, and I went to a facility, and there were 2 officers. There were 8 divisions. Each division had 25 inmates. But guess what? The officers were at a vantage point. They could have seen inside each division. There were no blind spots. They had all their cameras functioning. That is not our reality in Trinidad and Tobago.
So there are blind spots, lots of blind spots.
Besides blind spots, you have failing infrastructure, you have gates that not working, you have where you should have pneumatic gates operating from a panel. You have padlock and chain operating now. And you see this thing with the resources that we continue to require. The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service and prison officers are not seeing about inanimate objects. These people move, they observe, they think, they plan, they create. You have to feed them 3 times a day. You have to ensure that they get some kind of recreation. They have to see the doctor. They maybe have to be taken to clinic. They have to attend court. All of these things are happening. Even now, over the last few years, you're exposing the convicted individuals to some sort of a schooling class, ALTA, YTEP. All of this is happening in that environment where the infrastructure is not as it should be. We don't even have uniforms. And I saw somebody had asked me, they say, but Gordon, all your uniform, why all you don't make it? You could go by your seamstress or your tailor and make it. No, we can't. That is not how it works. Your uniform is a term and condition of your employment, like your salary. And the state has a responsibility to provide that. And when you're telling me since 2018, we have no uniforms coming into the service. If you go on a parade when officers gather to take up duty, you will be hard-pressed to see an officer in their uniform. And all of these things continue to happen. And what we are saying is that I don't just want to complain and complain. We know what the issues are. What we are saying is that we have some very, what we believe, some good solutions to address some of these challenges. But we are not being heard. Look, this thing with this NIS, this is causing prison officers even more stress. Now, mind you, people will say, but so what is the issue? Prison officers, if they don't get into the 1st division, they go home mandatory at 55 years old. Under the current, well, what existed previously, we already had to wait 5 years before we could get our NIS. Here it is, every 2 years from 2028, it's going to go up by 1 year until it reaches an upper threshold of 65. You know what the mortality rate or the life expectancy of a prison officer is?
What is?
57 years old.
So prison officers,
they don't even see their 60th birthday. And so when the technocrats make these decisions, and certainly we do understand the challenges with the National Insurance Board. We are not strangers to what those challenges are. But what we are saying is that there was no proper consultation to really see, maybe we could implement something else. And this silence, this top-down approach is where the prison officer is feeling abused. That is why, I say I wasn't going to mention it, but I have to speak about it. That is why the statement by the minister yesterday about shout at the turnkey. People say, well, them just call themselves that. But the reason that it was taken like that by prison officers is because we are already being abused. That is the feeling by the system. So it's not that the statement in itself was directed at us, but it spoke to how we have viewed, and certainly it's a cause for concern for us.
It's almost a dismissal. It's like a punchline in a joke.
Correct.
And you all are not of that.
No, we are the butt of the jokes, but it's not a joking matter.
It's not at all. And
no.
Based on our conversations, you know, it really seems to me like there needs to be a complete overhaul. I heard the Minister of Homeland Security mention that Port of Spain is no longer fit for purpose.
Correct.
That's a museum that should be shut down.
Correct.
The question is, if we move folks out of Frederick Street, where do we house them? You would have mentioned that facility, that big piece of land that is literally there by maximum, because we see the massive fence.
Correct.
I'm hearing now that there's going to be some prison campus somewhere down deep south in the rural part. That was part of some revitalization plan.
That was Tamana.
Tamana, apparently, yes. Okay,
yes.
So in some rural area. So you're hearing different things circulating, but I'm not seeing the sod turning. I'm not seeing the actual momentum and the ball rolling.
Yeah.
When do you anticipate some of these grand ideas might become a reality in our lifetime?
I want to be very measured in my response. We have to remain hopeful that betterment will come. But if we are to utilize our experience, this year is my 28th year as a prison officer. And when you visit Port of Spain prison, this is the same gate that I would have had to open and close as a young officer. It's the same gate. When you look at the maximum security prison, we trained there. We were the last batch to train at that facility. It was opened with us being there, some of the first officers to work at that facility. And when you look at where it was and you look at where it is, it's like night and day. You see, the thing about it is that no one is taking the time to truly understand what is required to not only simply have a prison system running, you know, but a prison system, like any other organism, requires change, and positive change. It requires evolution. We have learned so many things over the years, just with that simple interaction, that even how we build and construct these facilities needs to change. How we arrange the cells needs to change. The uniform needs to change. The tools that we use, you would have heard me sometime talk about the body cameras. We need to implement the use of technology. We need to learn from other jurisdictions. Why are we so afraid, I have to put it like that, of leading the way and blazing a trail forward for states like our own? And you see, it goes to this thing where we say when we're dealing with crime and criminality, so the police, you are arrested. There is no interview at that stage that attempts to determine why this person is in the position that they are in. In other jurisdictions, from the time you are arrested, that first interview is a structured interview designed by psychiatrists and psychologists to ask specific questions, and from that point they start to create a profile on the offender. Now, how important, you may say, but what is the purpose of that? Because in that jurisdiction, nobody spends 18 years on remand. That doesn't happen. That is unheard of. In fact, they have time limits. So if it's a minor offense, the state has up to a year to prove their case. If they fail to, the person goes free. If it's a murder, an indictable offense, they have 3 years. These are some of the discussions that we need to start having, because the prison is at the bottom end. And I know there's this story where a body talking, so the heart saying he important, and then the arm saying he important, the brain saying, well, I controlling everything, and then another part of the body saying, well, listen, I know I am the most important. I go in a lock-up shop. I'm not going to function. And when that backup happened, it sores, sickness,
headache.
The whole body
nausea
begins to what? Shut down.
Deteriorate,
So the thing about it is that we know our job is not the most desirable. We also recognize that those challenges we face are certainly, a lot of them are our own. But one of the things that we are not going to ever do is going to pretend that there are not more players involved in addressing where we end up as the Trinidad and Tobago service, and how their non-involvement or lackluster approach to addressing the many issues that we have is playing into our feelings and inability to treat with public safety.
So this might be a really interesting question here. In your 28 years of service, was there ever, I don't want to say a golden era, but was there ever a moment where things functioned, where there was, fit for purpose facilities, where they had a particular momentum that you felt you were making a difference, and you were, you saw some rehabilitation taking place with some of the inmates, you were able to, I don't think nobody will get up and you're all excited to go to a prison per se.
Correct.
Right, but was there any moment in that 28-year journey thus far that things were functioning, or did you see a downward spiral from the time it started to now?
It was a downward spiral from the beginning.
Serious. It didn't get no better over the last 20 years?
Never got better. While we were training, there was some, there were some washing machines. You have 200 odd individuals who we didn't get to go home. We trained residential. We actually lived in the prison for 9 months. And the washing machine needed a garden tap. And they kept saying they will bring the garden tap, they will bring the garden tap, they will bring the garden tap to attach the water. That never happened. And that should have been, at that point in time, an indicator to me that this place is different. And so you see, over the years, the reason that MSP is the way that it is because lack of maintenance, lack of scheduled maintenance. A lot of the equipment is outdated. I would have gone to a conference some years ago, and I actually met the company that they supplied the gates and the whatnot at the maximum security prison. And the exact phrase, the exact words the gentleman said to me, he said, "We were surprised that you're still using that." So let's say we were at version 1, they probably done at version 35 of the technology. You see, the thing about it is that we have to move away from that good soul approach. And one of the things that I continue to say is that even when you look at the sentencing, we have this discussion with the parole bill. It's good. it's welcome. In fact, it should have happened many moons ago. But that does not truly address the issues and challenges within the prison service. It is simply now another tool that the magistrate, the judges could use in their sentencing regime. But you're talking about sentencing. What about the remanded individual? What about that person? And when you look at a lot of the challenges prison officers face, it comes directly out of that situation.
I saw it firsthand. I saw it etched on the face of the inmates, the clients who were in normal home clothes, or I call it party clothes. I said, these men dress up so nice, and they were able to explain. And in that little moment, that 5-6 hours I spent, I learned so much, and I was able to see in real time. And I guess not everybody gets that opportunity to go behind the walls.
Yeah.
But when you go there, it's a deeper and a greater understanding, and you see in real time some of the challenges. And I really hope, President Gordon, that with these public utterances and the kind of open and frank discussions we're having, it could reach to the ears of those who could really move the needle in the right direction and really give you all that ease and that sense of support in a very crucial, I would say, branch of the national security apparatus.
Yes, certainly. Thank you.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah, I would like to use your platform to speak to the Minister of Housing. I am requesting a meeting with him and his team because there are solutions. You see, there was a lot of furor yesterday, but being in this position, I have to remember that ultimately my membership is in need of a lot. And so I am extending the olive branch to say that we would like to have a meeting as soon as possible, at his earliest convenience, to address some of the challenges we have where that is concerned. And also we are saying to the government as a whole, we are your partners moving forward. Don't leave us out. Call us. We are always ready to meet.
Indeed, and very important. As you mentioned, Minister, there's a minister who is in that ministry, a junior minister, and you would have mentioned his commentary yesterday. And I want to go back to that for a few to really, well, Minister Roberts, when he said it, I didn't even think, honestly. I just know that his timing belt is that it bursts. So what comes out of his mouth sometimes, I'd really take it really that serious, but I didn't realize it impacted prison officers in such a serious way. Let's play that for those who might have missed that particular interaction yesterday with Akash.
Senator Roberts, good afternoon. We understand the HDC was supposed to issue a statement with regards to the OPR's decision. Do you know where that statement is, when we'll be getting that statement?
Good afternoon. All you again here what to do when I walk in there, scream through the bars like you're screaming at a turnkey and make a story out of it.
No, I mean, if Outer Timing was a person, that will be the representation of Outer Timing there. When you heard that remark, it clearly didn't resonate well with you at all.
It didn't resonate with anybody, really. Well, I mean, you will have the one or two guys who would say, well, boy, whatever. But as I said before, the reason that it resonated as it did is because of the position that we are in.
Yeah.
And so
it hurt even more.
It hurt even more because we already feeling abused. We already feeling ignored. When you look at some of the comments and you recognize that the public itself, they don't even understand the true value of the prison service. Because I often say, our job is silent. Nobody sees. When they see, let they have an escape.
Yeah.
That is when everybody wants to know how come, why come.
Or God forbid a riot.
Or God forbid. And we have had, times when those things would have happened.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that prison officers ought not to be scuttled and treated in the way that we are.
And I'm happy you was able to come and speak to that directly this morning. And, we rebuke any kind of frivolous statements and trying to undermine the prison service and, as they say, turnkey. I mean, no joke to make. As a matter of fact, he should be the last. And I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there this morning. President Gordon, have a great one, man. Thanks for coming through this morning.
Thanks.
We take the pause and we come back. Much more to go on this Wednesday morning. Gary Griffith, former Commissioner of Police, joins me next.
Looking for a smart way to grow your savings? For just a limited time, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union is offering competitive fixed deposit rates of up to 4%. That's up to 4% guaranteed when you invest with PCU Fixed Deposit. Visit any of our locations in Barataria, Arima, San Fernando, or Tobago to get started today. For more details, visit policecreditunion.com or call us at 6124-PCU. PCU, your future is safe with us.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallo Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts,
use of credible sources, and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
All filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith joins me, and of course he would have also held the National Security Office, military man, someone who could speak to this important conversation as it pertains to firearms. Now, yesterday, in another place, the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, he made mention that in principle, homeowners, Gary, should have the right to own firearms, and he pointed to what he described as a policy shift towards a more U.S.-style approach to gun ownership. You would have mentioned that that particular proposal, you have rejected that proposal. You're saying that firearm access should not be linked to home ownership. But as we know, Mr. Griffith, your home is your castle. That's your sanctuary. That's where you lay your head. That's where you create memories with your family. And we have seen where home invasions and people being breached at their particular, in their space, their domain, it's a reality in this country. And there are many homeowners, including myself, who would want that probably extra layer of protection in the eventuality of anybody wanting to jump that fence or breach your particular space. And I just wanted to put that statement out there. I want us also to listen to Minister Sturge, and then Gary, by all means, I'll be guided by your counsel as we work it till 7 o'clock and beyond. So let's listen to Minister Sturge.
Now, my own view, it would require legislative change. My own view is that we should adopt the American system. If you own property, you should be entitled as a right to a firearm, except in certain situations. If you are someone who beats your wife and things like that, you shouldn't be entitled to it, because there's always the risk that you could use it against the people who you are supposed to protect.
So, Gary, I look forward to your counsel this morning. We have some time. So I said my piece. We heard from the minister. What's your reaction to all of that, Gary?
Hi, good morning. Well, you know, coming from the person who, a present commissioner, foolishly stated that I was giving out guns like nuts. I don't know what kind of nuts it was, because I would have given out less than 0.05% of the population. So I guess Guevara did max in August when he was in school.
Yeah, that was said at the chamber meeting last week.
Yeah, which was as dumb a statement as you could get. Giving out like nuts, it was 0.05% of the population. That comment is in total contrast to the previous government's policy. Mine is smack in the middle. You can't move from one extreme to another. The previous government's concept was unless you're a close relative or friend or you're a government minister, the commissioner shouldn't give firearms. One government minister asked me to give out 14 firearms to people closely related to him. And then they did an audit, and the whole audit, in fact, those persons in that audit committee should all be charged for wasting police time. You know, 5 years later, not one person has been arrested for any of the allegations in that audit. So you had one government saying, we don't want to give firearms to anyone. You'll be giving out 100 per annum. Now, this government has, the Prime Minister's comment is closely aligned to my action in that there's a law, and the law allows persons to be, if you are eligible based on certain requirements. And this commissioner, however, has a total contrast to it. He's actually making up his own law by saying it's no threat to your life. There must be a threat to your life, which is not there. So with Minister Sturge's comment now, however, about that U.S. policy, that's your home is your castle, that castle doctrine situation, I will definitely, even though it is that I would have given out roughly 1,000 odd firearms per annum, which will be about 20 per week. That took enormous work for us to make sure the correct persons got firearms. Anytime you start to reach every single household, there is absolutely no way that you can do proper due diligence to ensure that that person is of sound body and mind. You have to ascertain, you have to speak to neighbors, you have to get the approval from the spouse, you have to check their finances, you have to see if they have any criminal record, certificate of character, if they have any domestic problems, if they have any emotional problems, if it is that there are situations that may have any thing that will cause them to have anger management issues. To do all that and still put out 20 firearms per week was a lot of work. Anytime you go over that, you're going to water down the due diligence. And that same firearm now can be lost, it can be stolen, it can be used for a crime. And again, the present situation is in total contrast to Minister Sturge. Minister Sturge's comment is his personal opinion. The Prime Minister's comment about stand your ground is a personal opinion because it is not being implemented, because the law states that only one man and one man alone can make that decision, which is the Commissioner of Police. So my take is, if you go down that road of trying to give it to every household, it is going to cause more harm than good. Even though, in contrast to Mr. Guevara's comical statement about the dangers of giving firearms to law-abiding citizens, there have been 10 times more incidents of negligent discharges from law enforcement officials than citizens with legal firearms. 10 times more accidents, 10 times more loss of firearms, and 10 times more use of firearms for criminal activity by law enforcement officials than those who have received firearms as civilians.
To me, Gary, as firearms supposed to really be that layer of protection for those, I guess, with business, for a homeowner. And I've found that in the Trinidad and Tobago space, it seems that it's almost a status symbol. It's a separation tool between the have and the have-nots. Those with money clearly have access. Those who don't have, or who are considered, well, you're on a lower level, you shouldn't get this because you can't handle it, you don't have the mental capacity, you don't have the temperament. And people don't even try to put the paperwork in because they know they're not going to get through, as opposed to the man who's the big roller and who just have it to say they have it because they have it for having its sake. Gary, that's the reality of firearms in this country. And I don't know where that stemmed from, how it ended up that way, but that seems to be the culture, because there are people who, they have it and there was an easy process for them to get it, and others who really been, prison officers who want to give themselves a little extra layer of protection. People in these TTPS officers who can't even get it. It's baffling to me, and I wonder, with the crime and criminality that we face, we come out of a weekend where 7 people died in 3 days. There are people who, Gary, I think, who really want to give themselves that extra layer, especially women. There are women who want it bad.
JW, in my 3 years, I gave out more firearms to women than in 25 years before and after me by all commissioners, because the form was so backward. It stated that approval from your wife, because it was believed that only firearms should be given to men. So in my 3 years, I would have given out 25 times more firearms than all commissioners before and after me in the last 25 years for women. And your comment is accurate. The whole concept of what happened before and after myself was that you have to know somebody. It was a pull string, and I broke that, and that is what affected many police officers who were bribing and blackmailing persons. It is supply and demand. If it is that you're limiting your supply based on the demand, that is what is going to cause corruption. It's going to cause people to pull strings, and that is what was happening. What I did was to do exactly what you did. I started providing many firearms to women, to small businessmen, to the farmer, to the homeowner who wanted to protect his children and his wives and his family and his assets. And that is what, by me doing that, it hurt many persons in the police service, because when it is that you hold back, that is what caused the corruption. I broke that by allowing persons. Now, you don't have to pay, you don't have to be bribed. It's not because of who you know. You don't need to know a minister. So the small business owner, the farmer, the person who's seen who wants to protect his home, I provided that, but still it has to be limited. And after just speaking to the prison association there, you should have asked him as well. I started giving out probably about 100 firearms I approved for prison officers. Half of the firearms I issued, the 4,500 odd, half of them were to law enforcement officials present and past, because when it is that you retire, you can still very well be targeted. Yeah. Those are the things that Mr. Guevara and them, they don't like. They want to give out 100 firearms per annum. That is totally irresponsible, and this can only change if a committee is now selected to take away the control of one man. That's a colonial system selected.
Gary, I want to stick up in for a moment. I want you to stay with me. We're going to take that pause, head across to the 7 a.m. news update, and let's continue with this very important conversation after 7. Okay. Much more from Gary Griffith at the top.
Melt away fat, cellulite, and reduce stretch marks with Anshi Seaweed Defat Soap. Manufactured with 10 natural herbs, seaweed being the main ingredient. It draws fat and cellulite out of your body, leaving you with firmed, tightened, toned skin and a slimmer figure when used regularly. Experience the wonderful feeling in days. Notice the difference in weeks. Agents Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited. Also available at Pennywise stores, pharmacies, supermarkets, cosmetic counters. Be sure to look for Modern Caribbean's name and logo on genuine Anshi products.
Can you do this?
Your future is safe with us. No matter your age or where you're from, or what doors are open to each and every one. Your financial needs are sure to be met. At Police Credit Union, there's zero regrets. A variety of services that's accessible and reliable. Here to show you just what service is. Helping where we can, but with a smile.
Credit Union. Your future is safe with us.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Jesse Ramdale with headline news here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Defense Minister Wayne Sturge says homeowners should be entitled to firearms as part of proposed reforms to address home invasions. Speaking on TTT, Sturge said the government is moving in two phases. First, strengthening the legal framework for self-defense, and secondly, making it easier for homeowners to obtain guns. He suggested, as his views, that TNT could adopt a U.S.-style approach where property owners have greater access to firearm rights, subject to certain restrictions, for example, domestic violence.
Now, my own view, it would require legislative change. My own view is that we should adopt the American system. If you own property, you should be entitled as a right to a firearm, except in certain situations. If you are someone who beats your wife and things like that, you shouldn't be entitled to it. Because there's always the risk that you could use it against the people who you are supposed to protect.
The Homeland Security Minister says law enforcement authorities have moved to prevent any reprisal killings following Sunday's quadruple murder along Lady Young Road in Morva. According to Alexander, the police service has already taken steps in response to the incident, which has heightened tensions in the community. 9-year-old Jelena Armstrong was among 4 people killed when gunmen opened fire on their vehicle. Alexander said in addition to detaining persons, police patrols in the area have also been beefed up to ensure order.
To specifically address the risk of reprisal, specialized units have been deployed to the area. We are maintaining peace through active intelligence-led patrols and heightened surveillance within the community.
And Independent Senators Sophia Choate and Anthony Vera have voiced deep concern over the crime crisis, but say the solution goes beyond government action and more laws. Speaking outside the parliament yesterday, Choate said crime has been troubling for several years, but she expressed confidence that those responsible for security will make the right decisions. However, the independent senator does not think the solution to crime is more legislation, as she believes the necessary laws are on the books.
You know, people look to legislation as though it is the band-aid for every sore and every cut. I don't think that is the case. I think that's completely wrong and short-sighted. So I think investigation, detection, making sure that the system of justice works so that people pay for their crimes are the things which are most important.
Well, those were 7 AM News headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 AM on the TBC Radio Network.
With an Answer Bank in-one home mortgage, you enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, refinancing available, expert guidance brewed right. Banking that feels like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking. Refinance with an Answer Bank in-one mortgage and enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, expert guidance. Let the perfect mix feel like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Ready to engineer your future? Join the Association of Professional Engineers of Trinidad and Tobago for the Technical Conference Tuesday, May 12th and Wednesday, 13th at the Hyatt Regency. Discover cutting-edge solutions shaping our Caribbean future. Hear from leading international, regional, and local experts with over 20 dynamic presentations. Engineers, students, professionals, this is your space. APET Technical Conference 2026. Sustainable, smart, and resilient.
Shop and save at PRW, the People's Company. Check us for all your computer and electronic needs. 65-inch TCL Smart TV only $4,800. Get a HP laptop for $3,100. Epson All-in-One Ink Tank Printer $1,799. Gaming cases from $299. Bluetooth Party Speaker $2,500. Acer 19.5-inch Monitor $799. Call PRW today.
Minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday morning, I continue with conversation. Gary Griffith is on the line as we transition into the second hour. Mr. Griffith, I want to say to you that I have full knowledge that owning a firearm is a serious, serious responsibility. I have friends, I have colleagues who, they carry they have their FUL, and I've recognized they've changed their dress code, they've changed how they line, the patterns. There's certain things I realize there needs to be major adjustment because this is such a major responsibility. What advice or what can you say to those looking on who already have the FUL so that they do not become a target or they don't have their own FUL being used on them or being robbed and that kind of stuff? Because we have seen little incidents where people have FUL in bag, they get stick up. These are scenarios where as much as you have this particular tool for protection, it could actually be used against you. Huh?
Yeah, definitely, which is why I would not in any way agree with the recommendation by Minister Sturge, even though I understand where he's coming from. That could have a domino effect and it can affect lives. Because remember, if it is that you don't have a proper safe and it's not secured properly, you have the weapon lying somewhere and you have a child in your home. If it is that the person, all of a sudden, when it is that you got the approval, then all of a sudden now you start having drinking problems, domestic problems, financial problems. So there are so many things that you have to ascertain. It is enormous responsibility. And unfortunately, the vast majority of persons who have firearms, FULs I speak about, they don't adhere to that responsibility by not even going on the range. Many persons have firearms who have FULs and they have never gone on the range in years, which means that you're going to have an inaccurate shot. You could have a negligent discharge. The weapon will not be properly cleaned, which is why I acquired the FUL card with a chip, and that chip was to ensure that on an annual basis, all persons must go on the range. They must, and then we continue to do proper checks to see if it is that the spouse continues to approve, if it is that the person has any criminal record, domestic problems, financial problems. Lo and behold, McDonald, Jacob, and Earl and Company threw away the card with the chip, and they went back to the book. The card with the chip was to put the checks and balances, because people have FULs, and 20 years later, they now have domestic problems, financial problems, mental problems, and they still have the FUL. What do you think is going to happen? Which is why when I made the boast that in my 3 years, there was no incidents pertaining to persons getting firearms. And then certain, a unit within the state decided to do a video of 4 incidents. These incidents took place after me because they're not putting the checks and balances. So unless you put that FUL card with the chip, there are so many things that need to change. If you go Barbados for a day and you don't hand in your firearm to the police, you could be charged. But you could go to Tobago for 9 months or a year and it's okay. It makes no sense. So there's so many things that need to be changed. The commissioner also made foolish statements about somebody with several firearms. Why do they need it? There are specific circumstances. That's why dozens upon dozens of persons before me had several firearms. If it is that you are a firearm trainer. You will need a Glock, a SIG, a shotgun. You need different types of firearms based on the persons coming to select the firearm to be trained before, as they get the provisional, before they get the firearm. If it is that you're involved in competitive sport of a national team or whatever, there will be several firearms you will need. If you're a businessman and you have 20 different companies and you have security officers guarding each company and they need the FUEC, that person will have several firearms. So it shows this commission. This is what happens when you stay in special branch 26 out of 27 years. You don't understand a lot of aspects of policing.
Speaking about firearms, we saw a most unfortunate and unprecedented gun heist over the weekend in San Fernando. And coming out of that, I know you would have given your commentary concerning that most unfortunate situation. And again, we send condolences to the Eversley family with the loss of Officer Eversley. But we're seeing where the ACP, Sagram Singh, was sent on leave, ordered not to report for duty amid probe into Officer Eversley's murder. All this stemming from the gun heist at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station. Your reaction to that suspension, that staying in the background while we probe this case?
Yeah, sure. Well, three things come to mind immediately. Again, it goes back to when a previous Prime Minister, myself, we had a clash when he was complaining that I was actually shutting down stations or refurbishing them. Trinidad and Tobago, we have more police stations to secure 1.5 million than New York that secures over 10 million on a daily basis, because politicians and business chambers foolishly like to say, oh, every time somebody steals a Tambra, we need to set up a police post at that corner. Hello, police stations are not on the avenue to reduce crime. The more police stations mean more officers have to man the stations. That will cause less police officers out on the street. The police station is not an avenue for a response. People don't call police stations in developed countries to respond to a crime. You have highway patrol, rapid response unit, emergency response patrols, all things that are actually implemented and were shut down by commissioners after me because of just ignorance. So the more police stations, it means, especially in isolated places, it can cause it to be vulnerable for such situations to take place. So again, I would strongly recommend we go back to what Dwayne Gibbs was doing, that 21st century policing. We need to modernize our police service, transform it, and not setting up a police post at every corner, which is what can cause such a situation. As it pertains to the ACP, when he said that they're not sure how many weapons have been in that station, that is unbelievable. My 17 odd years in the Defense Force, every single military installation in the Defense Force, every 24 hours, an orderly officer has to go and check every single armory for every single weapon, every single round. It takes 2 hours. That is how stringent it is in the Defense Force, to know that within immediately you will know exactly if a round is missing, if a weapon is missing, and the number of weapons, the serial number. So for the person in charge of the municipal police, after 96 hours later saying, well, I'm not sure, one person said 68, then he said it's 100, then he thinks it's a little more. That is unbelievable. As it pertains to his suspension, I think it is hypocrisy at the highest level, because you're agreeing to suspend an ACP. Now, if it is that he's a suspect, he's a person of interest, that is something else. But because he holds the position of authority, you suspend him. But what about the several police officers who riddle a car like a strainer with the couple who were in the car? And the same commissioner of police and the same police welfare association, they said, we see no reason that any disciplinary action, any suspension should take place with persons who are suspects, who are persons of interest in possible extrajudicial killing. You didn't see a reason to have them suspended. But now all of a sudden you see a reason to suspend somebody because he was in charge of it. So if that is the case, should the commissioner of police be suspended based on the shooting by the police officers in that same incident? I think we must not operate in a knee-jerk manner when we must start looking at 21st century policing, and many situations take place, it's based on emotion rather than logic.
Well, Gary, thanks for the perspective. By all means, we monitor this situation, and I mean, many are still heartbroken, and there's so many more questions compared to the answers with what transpired in San Fernando over the weekend. But we'll stay on top of it, and it was a pleasure. We'll touch base soon.
Take care.
Tobago Talks. And when Tobago Talk, we listen. Kelvin Morris putting himself up for the leadership role there in the Tobago, well, at least the PNM Tobago Council. He joins me next on the Zoom line as they push for the final couple days before voting this weekend. Tobago Talks up next.
your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Just got your CXC or CAPE results? Then start your degree today at CTS College and choose from many of our pathways in business management, business administration, human resource management, marketing, finance, management information systems, computer engineering, computing and information systems. Full and partial scholarships are available. CTS College, where education is beyond academics.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order. Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
This Wednesday and every Wednesday, Tobago Talks, and when Tobago Talk, we listen. We welcome Calvin Morris. He's on the Zoom line this morning, putting himself up for the role of leader of the PNM Tobago Council. The election is carded for this weekend. Of course, we wish you, Calvin, and all those putting themselves forward the very best. And I look forward to our discussion, because as we count down the days before those within the party go to the poll, I would really love to know what's the feedback, what's the journey been like thus far. Just walk me through it as we, count it down and count down the days. Good morning to you, Calvin. Welcome.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning to all of Trinidad and Tobago, bless the nation. Always a pleasure. So that's been quite an interesting period of campaign.
Calvin, just give me 1 second, Calvin. I think that we're getting a little stutter. Just go again. Let me see if we get a better connection now. Go right ahead there, Calvin.
Yes, so you hear me better now?
Still, I'm hearing you, but there's a little interruption with the connection. And it's
connection. Yeah.
Let's keep talking for a moment, and if any issue, we could always just reconnect, because I want to make sure that people hear you loud and clear this morning.
Appreciate it.
Oh yes, much better now. Much better.
Yes, so it has been an interesting period of campaigning. Of course, this election is really focused on the membership of the Tobago Council of the PNM. So it is only persons who are registered members of the PNM that can participate in electing the 17 executive positions. And the focus is always on the political leader.
How many registered voters, Calvin? Give me a ballpark.
We have over 9,000 registered voters within the Tobago Council of the PNM, and we have about 40 persons vying for the 17 positions. So I would want to firstly thank each individual for coming forward to serve the PNM at a time where we are really in a rebuilding process, starting, as I would say, from ground zero. It's 15-0. We have no representation. in the Parliament nor in the Tobago House of Assembly, and therefore whoever takes up the mantle of political leadership really will have to take it up with a sense of urgency and the recognition that there is a lot of work to be done. And therefore, I would have encouraged 15 additional persons, outstanding, young, brilliant members of the party to come forward and serve in the various positions that I believe they are very capable and competent to so do, because I believe at this time we require teamwork, we require unity, and we require a party that is inclusive, where we can lean on the ability of all our members. Every member is a valuable asset at this time. So we have been going as a team door to door, engaging our members and asking for support for Kelvon Morris as the political leader and as the candidate, as team unity, as one team going forward. As you asked about how the journey has been, it took me some time to come to a place of accepting the responsibility to step forward. As you know, the last iteration of the internal elections, where I was and stood as the lone PNM representative in the Tobago House of Assembly, I did not contest any position at that time, but I took the humbling position to simply support our political leader, Mr. Ansel Dennis, at that time. And you would know, wherever Ansel was, Kelvon was there giving strong and consistent support. And therefore, I have now that the vacancy is available, where Mr. Dennis has decided not to contest the position of political leadership, I have decided to step forward to serve my party at a very critical juncture, a juncture where I believe, what is required at this time is a special type of personality, one that is humble, somebody that will listen, someone who will be able to demonstrate the kind of maturity and the kind of grace to take criticisms without becoming, aggressive or taking it personal, but to be able to also be very inclusive, someone who will seek counsel from the elders, because, I believe in that scriptural proverb, wise is the one that seeks counsels from his elders, and I've always demonstrated that. And perhaps that is why, even as we go forward, you are seeing a number of the former political leaders, former representatives, coming forward and openly and publicly saying that they believe that at this time, Kelvon Morris is the best choice. So you have persons such as Mr. Kelvin Charles, former Chief Secretary and political leader, Tracy Davidson Celestine, Nadine Stewart Phillips, Lawrence Hislop, Secretary Claudia Groom-Duke, former Secretary Gary Melville, former Secretary Huey Cadet, former Secretary Clarence Jacob, and the list goes on and on. It's because I have always demonstrated that kind of respect, that sense of inclusion, where I would usually keep them very much involved and consult and discuss ideas so that we can go forward in building the party. And as I speak about Tracy and Kelvin, as a party, we know that they held significant support. And once, after the competition, there was some level of disappointment, etc. And one of the things I've been able to demonstrate is that I have the ability to bring, persons who were apart together again. And it is amazing to see Mr. Charles and Tracy in the same room having robust discussions, but at the same time, we have the kind of camaraderie and synergy. And I have also done something which has not been done in the party in a real way, which is I have publicly, at the last meeting I had in the Tobago West at WIM, I publicly apologized to Mr. Charles for the way that he was treated with respect to his term coming to a premature end as Chief Secretary, because I also recognize not only at the personal and at the personal level that definitely was a difficult period for the party, but also as we go about the engagements with party members. They have said to me that is one of the things that they believe as a party we went wrong, and therefore I publicly took it upon myself to apologize on behalf of the party to Mr. Kelvin Charles.
Kelvin, let me ask you, you mentioned the word camaraderie there, and obviously this is a competition, and you're going up against a formidable opponent in Shamfa Boudreau, who was a former member of parliament and also former minister. What's the interaction like? What's the energy surrounding you two? What's the campaign been like? Is it one with a foundation of respect, or because we know sometimes internals could get very, very spicy? What's the real deal right now?
Interestingly, we have conducted this election with a tone of mutual respect and dignity. As a matter of fact, as a team, I encourage Mrs. Kujo Lewis, to her credit, did invite all members, including competing members for positions, to her cottage meetings. And not only did I encourage members of Team Unity who are vying for positions to go to the meeting, but I, along with other members, also went to one of those cottage meetings, and we engaged in, introducing ourselves, etc., and giving support. And of course, I even went one further. I didn't just simply invite persons with a general invitation, but I personally wrote and invited every candidate that is contesting a position to come to our meetings, where they were given an opportunity to also sell themselves at our meeting. So I think this is something that is a positive for the party going forward, that notwithstanding that we are competing, we can see ourselves as one PNM family. At the end of the day, I did get some information about my colleague, my dear sister Shamfa, indicating publicly about conversations we had privately. And therefore, I continue to see Shamfa as a valuable asset of the party. So win, lose, or draw, I believe that she has an important role to play, as does Mr. Ansel Dennis and all the others. And therefore, what I have said is that I will continue to conduct myself during this election with the highest sense of integrity, highest sense of respect for every competitor competing, because we need everybody on board post the elections, regardless of the outcome. And therefore,
no, well, I know you would have mentioned, and I'll let you continue, because I know you would have mentioned seeking the counsel of the elders and also bringing some of the young people in the mix to step forward to serve. Let me ask you, who are you going to lean more towards? Now, obviously, the elders very important than the experience, but if you get over the line this weekend, how important will be probably that youthful exuberance, the next generation of PNM supporters in Tobago? What role will they play in building the confidence and getting the party back on stream there to be a formidable opponent to who's in charge of the THA at this point in time? Because I guess you're looking towards the next THA election immediately.
Definitely. So we have a roadmap, what we dubbed, based on consultation and listening and the evaluations analysis from previous election results. The team and I, we have created what we call the People's Roadmap to Victory. And that is really a 6-pillar type pathway that we believe would really put the party on a good footing to be, attractive to the people of Tobago again. And it is really about treating with our internal democracy, where we really put power in their hands put power back into the hands of the members and really make the members feel valued. It's about strengthening our institution, all our party units, and it's about ensuring that we do the community engagement where we can grow the membership and put policies and programs in place where our members feel valued. It is also about, as you rightfully said, youth engagement and empowerment, not just the tokenism, but really putting youth at the center of our development and youth at the center of our progress. And, you know, having them involved in the decision making, having them properly trained and exposed to mentorship, etc. is about ensuring that we have candidates who are well prepared, who understands the party's history and values, and are deeply connected in their community. It is about also having a philosophy that simply says we will say what we do and do what we say. It is about letting our actions be demonstrated even louder than our words. And finally, it is about the technology and communication that can cause us to really be, you know, up to speed with modern ways of campaigning, how we collect data, how we communicate on the various platforms, how we are able to meet our various audiences. Because while you embrace technology, we have to understand that we as a PNM, one of our strengths is in our seniors, and the way our seniors receive information is different from our youth population, and therefore we have to be able to balance, you know, the technology with the traditional. And, you know, it is really about having priorities as well. We have a clear priority as to treating with financial matters that are outstanding, including paying workers and service providers from the last election. I talk about the Council of Elders, which would be extremely important in establishing, because I have advanced a cadre of young, brilliant, competent members who will also need the guidance of our elders, because, you know, as you rightfully point to youthful exuberance, there are some things that we would want to treat with in terms of reform and reframing and re-engineering. But even as you do that, there are some fundamental things that you need to preserve, and we don't just want to go in and believe that we have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And that is where the role of persons such as Mr. London, Mr. Calendar, Kelvin, and all the others would come into a great importance, because they will have to guide us as to how we go about these reformation that are critical to making the party attractive to the people of Tobago again and giving Tobagonians the kind of trust. And, you know, ultimately it is it's all about us evolving in the politics. I've said in Tobago, our politics must evolve to one where we, not just within the PNM, see ourselves as family, but even as we go out, look outside of Tobago, we are all family across the political divide. So while we compete during elections as political opponents, it cannot be that during the period of governance we see ourselves as political enemies. Tobago is too small, we are too connected, and therefore the politics have to evolve where we can have robust conversations, discussions on the policies and programs and ideologies. We are going to advance a vision to Tobagonians that is clear, that is realistic, and that is implementable, and that would really take our potential from, will take Tobago from one of potential to one of real progress. And, you know, it is about really getting down into the communities. I have always demonstrated as a representative that it is important to be out in the communities, having the direct discussions, and this is what I'll bring to the table as the next political leader.
Well, Calvin, you know, we wish you the very best going into the elections this weekend. You said 9,000 plus are able to vote. We hope it's a big turnout, and we sincerely wish you and all of the Team Unity, you said, the best Team going Unity. In. And
so April 26th, I am encouraging members to come out and support Kelvin Morris and Team Unity. And again, just want to thank you, Jason, always, and thank the people of Trinidad and Tobago for the support.
All the best to you, Calvin. Keep us posted. We will monitor the results.
Yes,
we'll get a chance
indeed.
to touch base, I'm sure, next week.
And we'll talk after, regardless of the outcome.
Most
Take
definitely.
Care.
Kelvin Morris always making himself readily available to chat with us, and indeed we wish Kelvin and also Shamfa's team going into the election the very best. And we will be talking about that, obviously, bright and early on Monday. Up next, Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain. That's right, Conceiving Hope, a very important IVF event. Full details after the break.
With an Answer Bank in-one home mortgage, you enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, refinancing available, expert guidance brewed right. Banking that feels like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking. Refinance with an Answer Bank in-one mortgage and enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, expert guidance. Let the perfect mix feel like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Spring is here and your garden's ready for a glow up. The Vega Garden Center sale runs April 24th to May 3rd. Get 20% off all plants, soil, pots, and fertilizer at both our San Fernando and Grand Cooper branches every day, including weekends. Whether you're refreshing your balcony, revamping your yard, or creating a jungle indoors, we're talking bougainvillas, ZZ plants, calatheas, a wide variety of crotons, orchids, bromeliads, palms, herbs, ground cover, and more. The Vega Spring Sale. Let's grow something beautiful together.
This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilaksing breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain, medical doctor and director there at the TTIVF, fertility doctor. She's here with us. Now, literally, we were talking about the state-of-the-art, really best gold standard facility there in Arangua, state-of-the-art for not only Trinidad and Tobago, but may we say the Caribbean. So that was literally like a month ago. Now we're hearing of some more exciting news, and Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain will share, because this is an engagement that's going to take place in May. And from what I understand, it's the third engagement. Some hearing about it for the first time, so I look forward to all the intimate details. And as always, great to see you and have you on the program.
JW, it's always lovely to be here. And yes, TTIVF, we've got this incredible event coming up, and actually it's our third. You're quite right. We've been doing it annually. It's called Conceiving Hope, and it's an event for and all about struggling with fertility. It's for people struggling to get a baby, and we call it Conceiving Hope. And we run it because there are two major problems in TNT. There's a problem with awareness about infertility problems, and programs like this really help, and that's why we run this annual event. And then there's the stigma around talking about it, which is a real problem.
Even though we're having these frank, open conversations for years now, there's still that stigma attached. Because I remember one of the very first conversations, I don't know if you recall, but I put forward that question to you as to the stigma, and if people feel a bit embarrassed if they speak about this in hushed tones. And back then you said, yes, but you're seeing it less and less.
It's becoming less. More people will openly talk about it. But a man who is suddenly faced with a report that says you have a very low sperm count or no sperm feels he's on his own. He doesn't understand that that's incredibly common. No sperm on a sperm test is 1 in 15 men who walk through our door, and we see thousands and thousands of people. So the stigma is real. The shame, the stigma, it's getting better, but it's something we need to work on as well. And I think particularly in Trinidad and Tobago, there's this real impression that we're fertile and, you know, and people are really ashamed and have a lot of worries about it. So that's what this event is all about, breaking down those barriers.
I understand you've changed your focus for Conceiving Hope 2026, is that correct?
Yeah, so each year we try and pick a theme, and this year it's all about IVF, the treatment that is the most successful way to get a baby. And so the event is very patient-centered. It's all about creating a safe space for men and women to come to. And, you know, people who come love it because they suddenly begin to meet other people. And after 20 minutes, we see people chatting and talking. It's very interactive. So, yes, this year the focus is on IVF, the treatment IVF, and people who are thinking about IVF treatment come and find out all about what we have at TTIVF.
For those looking on, you piqued their interest. Is there any cost attached? What's the detail in that regard to be there in person, to be part of the community?
Yeah, so there's no cost to attend.
Okay.
It's a free event, but you do need to register. I'm going to say it again, you do need to register. We've had problems at events in the past where we've had too many people turn up, they weren't registered, and we couldn't take you for safety reasons. So it's an event that will be popular every year. It's full, and yeah, you register. Here are the details.
Yeah, so walk us through what we're seeing on screen.
So it's on the 16th of May, which is a Saturday. It starts sharp in the morning, I think at 9 a.m. We have an educational component, a few talks to begin with, and also some of our warrior patients who've had IVF. They've been through some struggles, and they're going to talk about their story. And then a little after that, you get a little bit of refreshment. Then there's a free question and answer session that's anonymous with all the doctors that we have. And then the floor is open. You meet the nurses, you meet the doctors. You get a free one-on-one with the doctors to have a chat about your situation.
And I'm seeing testimonials because that's patient stories.
Yeah, so we have the most amazing IVF warriors. They come and they talk about, this is what I went through, this was my journey. And you know, that's the most wonderful part. You can see the reality of what really goes on here in TNT.
And I'm seeing it's at Sapa.
Yes, South. We're really excited to be in South.
That seems very intentional to take it to the Southland. Walk me through taking it to Sapa on that particular day.
Well, a lot of our patients come from South, 60% of our patients. The last 2 Conceiving Hopes have been north in Port of Spain. And we just said, no, it's time that we came to South for people that are in South. And we love South, and we really want to be there and provide this event for you guys. I mean, it's for everyone, no matter where you come from. People travel 3-4 hours. People came from Tobago. A couple of years ago, people came from Grenada. A couple came in from Miami. You know, people come from everywhere. But yeah, we're coming to South. And we're really excited.
Fantastic. So in terms of registration, just remind me, because I know obviously there would be a capacity once you get to that threshold. I guess you'll have to wait till next year. So I guess the key is to register early. Where do they go?
Yeah, so come and have a look at our socials. There's a website page to register on, or you can give us a call, 615-BABY-2229.
What's required in the registration? Just small details?
Yes, I mean, we're hugely confidential and private. We're just going to need your name, your email, contact number, I suspect, but the ladies will tell you when you register.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the third. The third, they would have said, the third in the series. So this is something clearly that's going to be ongoing.
It's hugely needed. It's always ongoing. We're committed to, just like you are, we're committed to awareness and showing people what's available in TNT, the good things here, and helping people have the knowledge to make choices that are right for them, because I think people don't often know what their options are, and there are many ways to have a baby. IVF is one of them, and the more you know, the more you can control your journey and choose what you want to do and get some hope, and that's why we call it Conceiving Hope. You'll see that in the women and the men talking about their stories to becoming parents.
In terms of the facility, as we look to wrap things up, clearly right there, strategically located, right off the highway, what's been the general overall feedback, the energy, the flow coming through the doors?
The energy is amazing. People walk in and they feel calm, excited. They know that this is a great facility. This is 2.5 times bigger than we've ever had. This is a huge facility, the biggest IVF lab in the region, and we're running at capacity already. So we are full. We're excited that people are aware of us now. People are coming in. Aranguez is a great, exciting location. And, you know, it's exciting to have the best IVF clinic in the Caribbean. So for me, it's the realization of a dream, but it's hope for people. This is where you can get the treatments you want, the genetic testing, all the things you might not realize are available in Trinidad and Tobago are right here in a phenomenal unit.
Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain, I'll give you a chance to put in some closing remarks.
So, really, if you're struggling with fertility problems, if you're thinking about IVF, if your doctor's talked about IVF, then you really need to think about what we have at TTIVF. This event is for you. You register, you come along, bring your partner or bring a friend. It's nice to have some support, and you'll find out everything you need to know, because there is hope, and we have a phenomenal unit right here in TNT, and you'll be able to ask questions. It's very, very interactive. It's very patient-centered. It's very safe. It's very confidential, and I really look forward to seeing you. So it's in South at SAPA, Saturday, May 16th. Registration on the TTIVF socials and webpage.
The third installment of Conceiving Hope, Saturday, 16th May, SAPA, South Trinidad. It's going to be a tremendous experience for all those in attendance, and I think the testimonials, the stories from some of the patients, that's, I know, will touch so many and inspire hope and give you that impetus to just keep trying and go forward there with Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain and her team. With that being said, we will take that pause. We're looking to wrap things up at 8 o'clock. Obviously, a couple of little housekeeping announcements, and we'll check in with the weather with Sagoni. But we get some calls in, and I think we have some time to really treat with the calls in a really special way. So normally we'll take the calls like right after 7. This week we're kind of doing it going up to 8 o'clock, but nonetheless, we're getting a chance to touch base. See you soon.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. The good life. Sun Mix.
Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail.
Rigorous verification of facts.
Use of credible sources and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Welcome back. Let's indeed remind you ways to contact the team to book your spot, whether it's live, on the couch, or on the Zoom line. tmb@cnc3.co.tt. That's where you send your email, and we will touch base. And hopefully I'll get to see you soon. Yes? We're looking forward. Let's head across to our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and X, very active. Lots of news there. Another place to stay on top of what's happening is our CNC3 mobile app, your #1 source for verified breaking news and your favorite content on demand. And as always, the foundation where it all started, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, 108 years of legacy. Of course, now with the new look and feel, definitely you can enjoy the Guardian on your laptop, on your tablet, your smartphone when you visit guardian.co.tt for your subscription, your yearly subscription. So I implore you to check them out today. Let's head across to our food for thought. Words to inspire on this Wednesday morning. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. So true. Because, I mean, obviously, when it's a constant, it's like a cycle. So it's like you're at the end of a chapter and it's going to start something else, and it's all part of the learning curve. So great words indeed to inspire. Let's head across to Sigoni to see what's happening with our weather report. Sigoni, good morning.
Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. In today's forecast, we've got relatively stable atmospheric conditions that's just sitting across the region thanks to an area of high pressure. And we're talking about nice, fair conditions for the most part for many of the islands of the Eastern Caribbean. The thing is that at the same time, we still have a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust haze present, so you'll still see that dull, gloomy look at times. But generally, what we're seeing in the forecast for the next few hours will be that sunshine mixing in with the dust haze, some gentle breezes coming in as well. And because we have that area of high pressure, we're also looking out for some partly cloudy pockets to creep in and interrupt that sunshine and the heat as well. With it, some quick passing showery activity, mostly light to moderate in intensity, favoring western and hilly areas of Trinidad at this time. Now get this, temperatures are ranging in the lower 30s, but your feels like temperatures will be exceeding the mid-30 marker, so it's going to feel wickedly warm over the next few hours. If you're heading offshore now, well, we are anticipating waves to come in between 1 and 1.5 meters for all you open water interests. If you're within the nearshore and sheltered areas, waves are well below 1 meter in height, and we'll see those winds coming out from a northeast to easterly direction, so not too bad. The thing here in this forecast is that there's no significant marine weather activity for the next 24-hour period, so it's smooth sailing if you do decide to venture offshore. With that said, hey, that's a wrap on the forecast. That's it from me.
Sigoni, sincere thanks. Let's take that pause. We come back. We open the lines, open forum, your calls, right up until 8 o'clock. See you soon.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
exactly what we need.
Hi, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Welcome back. Let's open up the lines. I'm seeing via my phone this morning that the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, would have put out a whole statement concerning crime and criminality. He would have named certain ministers. He was very sharp with his commentary. I'll just give a little piece. He said, when I tried to address it, he's talking here about crime, by treating violent crime as a public health issue. They mocked us and laughed and said it's only because of who is in office that we have a problem. And he goes on to say more. You could read it in your own timing, obviously. I don't want to really take up the limited time with the statement, but a statement is out. Very sharp commentary, very hard-hitting, as it were. And I guess the banter and the back and forth, the tennis match continues. I mean, the reality is, whether it's the former, whether it's the former, whether it's who's at the wheel right now, we have an issue, and we've been dealing with this for many years. And I hope at some point we could arrest it, really arrest it, and bring ourselves back to a place of normalcy. Let's head to the ever-quiet Cedrus. Good morning, Cedrus. Good morning.
Good morning, JW.
Welcome.
Long time I hear from you.
Yes, man. Good to have you. Good to have you, Cedrus.
When last year was in Erin?
Well, I was down by Paddy's on Monday in Point Fortin, and I wanted to make a spin to check Auntie Annie in Erin, but I had to head back up the road. I had some other place to be at for a particular time. But I'm actually coming south today, so you never know. I might just run in. Once I'm in Sando, the highway makes it so much easier now.
Yes. So yes, my concern is the incident with the police losing the firearms at the station in San Fernando.
Yes.
It's something that I've been advocating for in Cedrus for many years. When you go to the Cedrus police station, all right? I know this is not TTPS matter, but normally when you go to the Cedrus police station, there's one police there. You go up the hill, and it is the night, the van gone, the police jeep gone somewhere, the Cactus or Granville or somewhere. So this issue of stations not being manned is something of concern.
Hold on, you feel somebody not inside sleeping? Is one police in the whole station for Cedrus?
Well, when we were sleeping, but in any event, I would have brought it up many years ago since the complex was created. That we are in a high security kind of a coastline, I mean, the Venezuelan issue came only recently, but long before that, I would have advocated you must have a security complex with being manned by officers in case of an emergency or whatever. So this protocol of having one police, and you could ask other people, you go to a station in a remote area, one police, the rest gone somewhere or they're not there. And then to add to that, right, is the issue of hello?
Yeah. So I'll listen to Cedrus. Go ahead. I still in shock, my mind blown that is one officer will be in a station.
Yeah, but ask people in Cedrus. I mean, but maybe now they would have improved recently, right? You see, but as I say, it is something that we would have noticed.
Wow.
And then one of the things that occurred to me too, when you go to that for the sergeant home, the sergeant off. He off his routine or whatever it is he had to do. This, how you call it? A working shift. So if you need a supervisory, if you need a supervisor, you need supervision. The senior man home, you go talk to you. That could happen if you're dealing virtual now, modern day, for other types of businesses. Security complex.
Cedrus, I want to thank you because that's a big revelation. I'll have to probably ask some questions. And see, Faizo, you hear what Cedrus now say there, Faizo? The man say one policeman to the station down there, no?
Good morning, my brother. Jason, and that might be true. Jason,
But remember, you know, we were once a loving and peaceful community, and you came from the south side, and you know what our culture is down here. Yes?
Yeah.
So I guess it would be based on the relationship the police has with publicly time for us. Now, with criminal minds, that have now since changed drastically. And you need to change with the times, I agree. It will take time, you know. And I think we can get there. But one of the biggest mistakes we would have made with the security apparatus in Trinidad and Tobago was the removal of Gary Griffith, whether you like him or you don't like him. We'd have been in a much better place today had there had not been political intervention by the Prime Minister himself. The crime and criminality lies on the lap of Dr. Rowley and the Bliss Prasad and company. There is no doubt in my mind, and if Trinidad and Tobago want to be honest, they could clearly identify with it, because crime will go spiraling downwards, as you would like to say.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the evidence that suggests that. So I'm suggesting to this administration, let me put the pride and the quarrel aside, and let me put country first.
Yeah.
And let me give Mr. Gary Griffith a chance to continue with the good work he would have started in collaboration with the people who are there. Let them form a strong team. And
Thank you, Faizo. Faizo, well, I mean, I'm watching the time. We have to make the exit, but thanks as always, Cedras, Faizo for the commentary. God spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Until then, have a safe and productive day, TNT. All the best.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of CNN International, we now join their current programming.
Or any of that, but I'm saying there's a lot of unanswered questions there.
Trisha Hope, who is a Trump delegate at the RNC in 2024, has been vocal online about her doubts, posting, "Since the attempt on his life, Trump has shown no interest in investigating what really happened. He never mentions it. It's as if it never happened, except when he tells us he took a bullet for us." Marjorie Taylor Greene has shared Trisha's post, and she added over the weekend, "I'm not calling the Butler assassination a hoax, but there are a lot of questions that deserve public answers."
The far more significant story involves the government, the DOJ, and the FBI, which have hidden from the public what they know about Thomas Crooks.
Tony O'Sullivan, CNN, New York.
All right, the breaking news this morning, Iran now says it has seized 2 ships in the Strait